One of the main problems at a time like this, when there's loads that is changing, everybody seems to be way ahead of you. You've got this sense that maybe you're missing out or you're missing something. But at the same time, you might be very excited about what you can now do. And it can be difficult to figure out what the best move is because what seemed like a good move yesterday, either because of what's happening out there in the world or with what you're building in here within your own world, is constantly shifting a moving target. And this is the problem that I've been facing for the last 6 months since I started building stuff with these new tools like Claude Code and Codex and Pi and Hermes and OpenClaw. With these new tools, it's been a very strange time because I've been incredibly excited, feeling like I'm making enormous progress. But then when I look at actually what anybody else knows, what really counts, it's nothing. You know, Sally, my wife, has said to me, "Yeah, but what are you actually, what are you actually doing? Like, this is great and everything, but nobody knows about it." And so then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to get something out, but then something changes out there or something changes in here. Now, what is interesting about this is that I've seen this before, not quite at the level or the speed or the kind of world changingness of what is going on right now. But when I started making music and releasing music, I released my first vinyl in 1994. That was at the start of the digital music revolution. And then later on, when I first sold something online in my first online business as a solopreneur, that was 2011. Again, it was really the start of the creator economy as it's become known. Apparently, I'm a creator. I didn't realize that. So, and both of those times I had the same feeling where I felt like everything was moving so fast. It's almost like I couldn't catch a breath. I know it's crazy, isn't it? 1994, you're moving so fast. Totally not compared to now. And I also felt like there were so many people that were ahead of me and I didn't know what to do next. But one thing I have learned from both of those situations is that the opportunity was massive and I had no idea how big it was, that I actually wasn't behind. I was actually ahead as I now see it. And every single moment that I paused or second guessed myself or had expectations that something was going to work and it didn't work as I expected, actually, it wasn't a realistic way of looking at the world. I mean, I remember being disappointed for selling anything under 10,000 vinyl records of a white label. So there wasn't any, it was literally just a white label. If I sold under 10,000, I felt like I'd failed. It's just absolutely crazy because it's just so different now. Okay. So the first thing to understand if you are building or if you want to build is, number one, you are not behind. You are, the very fact that you're even watching this video up until now and you have the desire and the motivation to actually build, or you are building, you're way ahead. Okay. The second thing to know is that, I mean, there are always going to be people ahead of you, right? It doesn't matter where you are, right? There's only one person in the entire world of however many billions of people that is at the front. Okay, that's the first thing to remember. The second thing is that right now there is never going to be any, is it less or more? I'm getting confused now. There is never going to be less competition for building businesses with these tools than there is now. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it is true. Because these tools are going to get easier. They're going to distribute more and more people are going to be able to use them. Now, just to address a thought, an objection that you may well have is I am assuming that the world isn't going to be completely and utterly upended. For example, and I'm assuming we're not going to be taken over by a vengeful AI, right? I can't say whether that's true or not. I have no idea. But it's almost like I can't plan my decisions right now based upon this sort of, it's almost like being hit by a meteor. It's like, if that happens, all bets are off. So what I'm doing is I'm proceeding forward on the assumption that that isn't going to happen, because if if something like that, or goodness knows what happens, it's almost like all bets are off. Okay, so I'm putting that to one side knowingly. All right. So on the assumption that AI is in some way more of a normal technology rather than the kind of thing that might literally change, just make all bets are off, I am proceeding forward with what I can control and what I understand, the world as I understand it. Because if I start thinking about that, well, I'm not sure what I will do then. I'll come to that I'll come to that eventuality when I do. All right. So coming back to the thing, assuming that the world continues in some way as it has been, you are not behind, you're ahead. Number two, there is less competition now for this building businesses with what I would say is a new medium for most of us, not, software developers and everything, not for them, but for most of us, this is a new medium where we can create literally anything we want in bits and bytes, not atoms and molecules. That is a very, very exciting prospect. And the new tools also allow us to do lots of different things that either we weren't good at, we couldn't do, and much more of it too. So this creates a massive opportunity for solopreneurs, solo founders, people who tiny teams. But obviously the problem is actually getting the stuff out, knowing what you want to build, because when you can build anything, you can't build anything. So in order to solve this problem for myself, I have developed a thing called a build machine. It's based upon my music machine, which is a creative system for making music. It's obviously different because building things is somewhat different to making music, but it's called the build machine. And I'm going to introduce it to you over the coming videos, this video series. Think of it as like a mini course, if that's what you want to think of it as. And essentially, it's got 3 stages. And in each of those stages, by building, you are answering essentially 11 questions. And these 11 questions it's like you're learning by doing, do to learn, don't learn to do. Or more accurately, do to learn before you learn to do, because then you figure out what you need to learn by doing it, right? Because it's amazing. Sometimes you actually don't need to learn kind of from somebody else exactly. You can just do, right? So this is like a framework for building, which allows you to answer the questions, which are the questions that it doesn't matter what happens, are the questions that every business needs to answer. All right. And today I'm just going to briefly introduce you to the 3 stages. And then in future videos, I will take you through the different questions you'll be answering. And I'll give examples from my own business, the one that I'm building right now with these build streams. Okay. So a really important way of thinking about what to do when you're in a very uncertain and changing world, and things have changed recently and you kind of don't know what it means, is figuring out, okay, where were the constraints before and where have they shifted to? Because where the constraints are is where the value tends to accrue. So if you think about it in terms of software, until now, software code was very difficult to write. Human beings had to do it by hand. Therefore, it was difficult to learn. It was difficult to become an expert at. There were very few people who wanted to do it or who could do it. So that was where the constraint was, in writing the code. Now it's actually very easy for us to write code. It can just be generated, apparently, I don't know, but apparently quite a lot of it is getting to be quite good code as well. So I wouldn't know, but apparently that's what my developer friends tell me anyway, my developer clients. So now code can just be generated very, very quickly. So the constraint is no longer there, which means that anybody can use code, can use these tools to generate code to create anything. So that constraint, in a sense, has gone. I mean, there are still constraints around it, but that's a simplified way of looking at it. So where now does the constraints go? That's what the question that you want to answer and that you want to think about. And so if you want to answer it for yourself, pause the video, have a think about it, do some free writing, and then unpause the video because I've come up with my own answers too. So first of all, if you think about it, if anybody can make anything, that means, I mean, this is what happened in music. This is what happens has happened in the creator economy. I've seen it happening, is that it means that the more valuable thing is going to be anything that has differentiation. The constraint, when more and more people can do something, is how is this different? So what we have to develop is the ability to imagine, to dream. And that is the first stage of the build machine. It's actually, because the thing is, if you think, well, I don't really have imagination, you do. It's just you haven't developed it yet. And I'm sure you actually are underselling yourself. But if you believe you don't have imagination, if you can't think of something that is different, something that's new, it's a learnable skill. And it's actually something that it's actually not even that difficult, because you don't, with the tools as they are now, you don't have to have a blank canvas. That's the wonderful thing about them. I mean, for example, this background I'm showing you right now, I didn't actually think of this. I discovered it by taking steps, by doing one thing and then another thing. I mean, at the moment, it's just a kind of pretty bunch of particles. I'm going to do all kinds of things with it, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, but I didn't imagine that. It kind of came about, right? So the ability to differentiate yourself by imagining, dreaming what is different to everything else, but not just different on its own, different in a way that appeals to a specific group of people who you care about, that who you want to help, who you want to serve. That is really what is the new constraint. Yeah? Being able to serve a particular group of people in a unique way that actually, in that unique way, not only expresses who you are, but also uniquely kind of appeals to them, solves their problems. Okay, so that is the dream area of this. Okay, then the second the second constraint we need to think about, where it's shifted, is speed of execution, of shipping, of getting stuff out, of finishing stuff. Okay, obviously now everybody can do everything much quicker. We need to be able to have the systems and the the processes and everything to develop products and improve them and iterate on them and test them at a much faster rate. Now, the problem is with speed is it's a little bit of a race to the bottom. In a sense, it's the least valuable, not right now, but it will become the least valuable. Differentiation will become the bigger constraint as time goes on, because it's almost like, the least amount of time is like 0.0001 seconds. You can't go any lower than that. Whereas in terms of differentiation and dreaming and doing unique things, well, that's infinite. There's no ceiling on that. So while speed is very important, while getting the systems in place so that you are shipping and executing as quickly as possible, and actually largely it's about mindset as well, it's really important right now. It's going to, over time, become less important because speed is just going to be the speed that we can do things. Yeah, it's like everybody will be able to do it like that. And then the final constraint, which definitely is not going away, is distribution. No, not distribution. I got that wrong. Is connection. There we go. So, you think about it right now. Well, actually, let me ask you a question. Why do you think I'm recording these videos with minimal editing? Is it because I'm lazy and hate editing? Well, yes, there might be a bit of that going on. But, why does this YouTube video not look like all the others with the jump cuts and the asides and all that kind of stuff? And it's just like some idiot in a stupid hat talking at you without much editing. Why is that? Why am I doing it like that? Well, because I'm connecting with you. It's like I'm engaging you just as I would talk to a friend, just normally. Yeah, I don't edit myself when I'm talking to a friend. I'm actually making these videos on purpose. I mean, it actually helps, I'm actually glad this is true. But as AI makes more and more video and can kind of clean up videos more and more and do all of the jump cuts and things like that more and more, that becomes what most people do. And it actually, I think, for me anyway, maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but it almost like reduces that connection. Like the warts and all are the things that make us human. So this video of me umming and ahhing and kind of going off on tangents and tapping the microphone with my Apple Pencil every now and again, that kind of thing is human. And AI wouldn't leave any of that in. Right? So that human connection, what we actually have to do, and this is the third phase of the build machine, in order to kind of solve that constraint, we've got to find ways of distributing our stuff while enhancing the human connection. So I'm not saying that all of us have to start making unedited YouTube videos and talking off the cuff. There's a million and one ways of doing it. I mean, the other thing is that you can actually, so for example, eventually, not yet, but I've actually got a system in my system. I'm not using it at the moment because I'm just focusing on making the initial videos, but it's called Wavecatcher, which automatically cuts parts of videos. And I've just made it myself. I'm not using an online service. It takes parts of videos, takes parts of my workshops, of me speaking, and automatically creates little clips of it. And I've got a canvas where I can just go, yes, this one, and I can just chop little bits out of it and then create more social type videos out of it. I'm not using it at the moment because I'm just focusing on actually recording these videos, but that's an example of how AI can enable us to do more with less. And so that connection problem has to be solved with how we distribute and how we actually use our particular skills and abilities. Because, I've been coaching people and doing workshops online in front of people for a very long time, which is why I can just talk off the cuff and do this kind of a video. You might not be able to do that. You might not want to do that, and that's absolutely fine. There are going to be other ways of doing that. But I can guarantee you that a a constraint that is not going away is connecting with other humans, is the ability to actually connect with other humans. It's just going to become more and more valuable as time goes on. So the three phases of the build machine are dream, develop, and distribute. And over the coming videos in this mini course, I'm going to go through the different questions that building will answer for you. Some of them you'll be able to answer now, which will enable you to actually get started or direct your building so it goes out into the world. Some of them can only really be answered by building, but by understanding what they are, they will help you to, as I said, make more of what you're building, be more certain about what is coming. And also each of these questions, they're really essential. And I've been running my online business since 2011. So I've been doing this a very long time. And I mean, trust me, if somebody had told me, right, these are the questions you need to answer with what you're doing, I would have saved so much time and so much effort. I would have been able to go much faster and take advantage of the huge opportunities that I didn't even realize was before me then. Now, right now, I do realize the opportunity. I finally, third time lucky, I've finally got it. So subscribe to this video. Somewhere on this page or coming up next will be a playlist of all of the videos in this course, how to build a builder business and escape the build hole. So take a look at that playlist. If there aren't videos in there at the moment, it's because I'm still recording it. Subscribe to the channel and I'll see you very soon. Onwards and upwards.